pressure is mounting for Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize to resign. He's expected to appear before the ANC's Integrity Commission this week. Commission Chairperson George Mashamba has confirmed that Mkhize wants to discuss the multi-million rand digital vibes tender scandal. The minister did not attend a parliamentary meeting on Friday, instead sending his Director General to address the controversy. Let's get some analysis at this hour on the Midday View. I'm joined by independent political analyst Thabo Shole Mashao. Thabo, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Welcome to the Midday View. It's not looking good from outside. Having said that, one understands there will be a process. There's an investigation that is going on, but Parliament has oversight over the executive. For Dr. Mkhize not to have appeared in that portfolio committee Parliament last week, from my perspective, does not look good, because parliamentary processes are separate from the SIU and other investigations. Am I reading it wrongly?
No, not at all. I mean, it is really disrespecting parliamentary processes, to put it bluntly, Braden, but also, more importantly, it is giving an impression of somehow evading accountability. And that is to say, when Parliament calls you a portfolio committee seeking answers, and you hide conveniently behind the sub judice rule, which perhaps would not necessarily apply, because chances are the docket opened less than 24 hours ago would not even have landed as yet on the laps of the prosecutor, let alone gone to court. Why are you hiding behind that? But also for someone as senior as the Minister of Health to try and evade the accountability in Parliament. It says that the fight against corruption should be strengthened. He needs to be seen to be supporting this act, and appearing before the parliamentary committee would have helped his esteem quite a lot. And it would have said to this general South African populace that here's a man who has got nothing to hide, who wants to be accountable without hiding behind petty legalese.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know what that legalese, that advice is really meant to protect. But if you've got nothing to hide and you're part of a process, you would go to Parliament and say, I'm subjecting myself to the process of investigation, and I would urge and I plead with Parliament to allow that to happen. That will show a little bit of consideration. But now, the party itself has got its own process going on, and when I heard about the Integrity Commission, that he's going to be appearing there this week, my mind went back to the Gauteng situation with the matter of the PPE tender, with the former MEC for Health, Dr. Masuku, who was then subjected to the same but had to step aside. Is there a parallel we can draw from that in this particular case, or you think I'm trying to connect dots that are not related?
The dots clearly connect, Braden, and I don't think you are stretching it at all. Firstly, it is within the realm of health executives, political heads who need to be held accountable. But secondly, you'd remember as well with the former MEC of Health. He said, I have political oversight. It is not necessarily my responsibility to be right there at the bottom of things. It is somewhat similar, one at provincial and one at national level. And Braden, I think also it would be somehow suspect if the Minister of Health continues to go ahead with appearing before the Integrity Commission, and yet he failed to appear before the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee. It would tell you where his priorities are.
Exactly, because it will say to South Africa that I'm a party man, I'm going to subject myself willingly to a party process, the party that deployed me in government as a cadre to be the health minister in this particular case. But I'm not going to submit myself to the very important arm of the state, which is Parliament, to whom I'm accountable as an executive. And by the way, I'm an MP as well.
And we are watching that with a hawk's eye, excuse the pun there, to see if he will appear between the Integrity Commission. Because, as you have clearly said, it would then say, what happened to the sub judice rule that you are hiding behind? And doesn't it matter when it comes to party? And it means your political career is more important than accounting to the general South African about the money that is being paid, tax money that is being paid by all South Africans beyond party affiliation. So we are watching very closely if he will then go ahead to appear before Thabo Mashao and the rest of the Integrity Commission. But also, Braden, you might have seen this pattern that has developed over some years, that they would be running away from interviews with you and your colleagues, and people would hide behind the concept or the rule of sub judice instead of coming out and necessarily giving accountability, which is not necessarily the case, because really, if Thabo is accused of something and he will say the exact same thing to Braden as he will say before the judge, there isn't anything wrong with it. But this has been extremely abused, this concept of sub judice, and it is about time that we hold politicians and all prominent individuals accountable to that.
But I can imagine to hold somebody like Dr. Mkhize currently accountable will be a tough nut to crack for President Cyril Ramaphosa, because the way he has managed and handled overall the COVID-19 pandemic, communicating, being open and being up and about, has earned him a sort of respect and credibility among the eyes of South Africans. Of course, albeit currently the rollout of the vaccine is slow, there have been all kinds of issues, but he's always been upfront and he's always been out there engaging and talking, until last week when he's suddenly gone off the radar. But there are unconfirmed reports he might have been in KZN this past weekend, maybe consulting with the provincial comrades of the ANC there, his comrades. I don't know if that's the case. We're trying to establish that as the channel. But if he's doing so he's aware of the political ramifications of this. But President Ramaphosa is facing a tough situation where he needs to act not as a party president, but as the president of the republic,
which would be a sadly missed huge opportunity on behalf of the president if he doesn't act on people who are seen to be at least walking on the straight and narrow, because then it would then align him to certain factions, perceived or real. And this would then say the president needed to make an example, particularly with this matter, in a weeks of its outcomes. You'd remember with the previous PPE issues, the former spokesperson and others, the president needed to have come out very clearly within at least 72 hours to have said, I have asked the Minister of Health to gently move away from his responsibilities, because we want to be seen to be serious in this fight against corruption. Currently, the president, as we've discussed before, Braden, is holding political capital of sorts, and he needs to use it despite as to who is on the wrong or who is on the right. This would have emboldened the president to be seen in the eyes of the public and in the eyes of his party, not to have been factional, but to have been very fair if he had dealt decisively and immediately on the matter of the Minister of Health. People will say he's dragging his feet simply because it is not someone who is openly against him, factionally speaking, within intra-party politics. But if it were someone else, it'd be very quick. I think it's a miss, and the more days that pass by without the president acting and not asking him to believe him, this is not a matter of religion. We don't have to have faith in the president. We need to see his actions if it's really serious about fighting corruption.
Thank you very much, Thabo Shole Mashao, for your analysis on the midday view here on eNCA. Of course, as the day goes on, as the days go on, this matter of Dr. Mkhize and how the president is going to deal with it, we're going to continue probing and asking questions so that, you are informed and we'll keep in touch. And Thabo, they're making a very valid point. If you are the legal advisor of Dr. Mkhize, you said last week, don't go to Parliament because this matter is sub judice. What are you advising him to do this week? Are you advising him to go and speak to the ANC's Integrity Commission on the same basis, or you've got a different approach? And if so, why?